said, rarely does anyone succeed at anything unless they enjoy what they are doing. When Woody was retired in 2007 after 35 years in the University of Utah Athletic Department, people said he could star in his own TV show. Everybody loves Woody. Known for his raspy voice, bald head, and white beard, Woody was the longest-serving employee in the athletic department when he retired. He worked with 7 different head football coaches, 5 different head basketball coaches, 4 athletic directors, and numerous secretaries, assistant coaches, and student interns. He started as an assistant sports information director, and after 6 years, he was promoted to the head job. When Woody retired, he said, "What I will miss as much as anything will be the personal relationships I have built over the years." One of his great memories on the job was hosting the NCAA basketball Final Four in 1979 and seeing Magic Johnson and Larry Bird battle in the championship game. During his career, he oversaw 15 NCAA basketball tournaments as media director. Woody was the president of the Utah Sports Hall of Fame Foundation from 2008 to 2010. I personally have appreciated the opportunity to serve with Woody on the current board of directors. We have worked side by side on the Utah Hall of Fame press conference that we host each fall in conjunction with the Hall of Fame induction banquet. His attention to detail and his ability to interact with all types of personalities have set him apart as one of the best in the business at working with the media. Parents of 5 children, Bruce and his wife Nancy, live in North Salt Lake. Please join me in congratulating Bruce Woody Woodbury.
As a former president of this organization, I've been to a lot of these, so I know that we're running out of time, so I'm going to be short. As Yogi Berra said, when the Yankees honored him with a night at Yankee Stadium, I would like to thank everyone who made this night necessary. I'd like to thank a few people who were important in my life and career. I worked with 4 great athletic directors. Bud Jack, who hired me right out of college, and that's thankful to Craig Hislop, who had the assistant SID job just when I was graduating. But luckily, he got hired at Utah State, which opened the job at Utah, so I got hired there, which is good. I've been there, I was there ever since. Arnie Farron, who we had a great time. Arnie's here tonight. We introduced him, but we had a lot of fun, and he was a great boss. The late Jim Copeland, who was the athletic director for a few years, and of course Chris Hill, who has been a great athletic director and has been a great influence in my life and a great person to work with. And he's done, as you all know, an unbelievable job as athletic director at the University of Utah. I'd like to also mention my longtime friend and co-worker, Liz Abel. Liz and I worked together for 25 years at least. I sat in the press box my entire career. In fact, I think I only sat in the stands twice with my wife Nancy in 40 years of football. So the only problem with sitting next to Liz is every time Utah scored a touchdown, she'd beat on my shoulder. So the other thing when we're watching basketball games, I really had to have my shoulder replaced. But she's got the job now, and she does an outstanding job. It's one of the best in the country. I'd also like to thank Mike Legashield, who's on the sports information staff there. Mark Amicone, who's now the general manager of Salt Lake Bees. But Mark and I worked together at the U for 16 years and had a great time. And also Bill Bain and Dave Copier, who are also there. Bill Bain was a long-time trainer there, and I'll tell you a story about him in a minute. I'd like to also thank all the media in Salt Lake and all over the country, because people don't know this. If there weren't any media, then sports information people wouldn't have jobs. So, 2 persons who are no longer here who really helped me in my career were John Mooney, the 50th longtime sports editor of the Salt Lake Tribune, and Dave Shilgus, who was the longtime sports information director at BYU. Both of them gave me advice and were great friends and great managers in my career. I'd like to thank some of the people that are here tonight, just a few. My Uncle Walt, who is here, is 91 years old. He is the last survivor in our family, and I'm happy that he can come along with my cousin Dixie Dave. So I'd have you stand up, Walt, but you're in your magic sphere that you push around. Maybe you can honk it or something. Okay. I'd like to thank my children and their spouses. I won't have them stand up, but these kids are the best at working. They've all worked the NCAA tournaments. We've done jazz playoff games. And my three boys, Scott, John, and Cletus. His name's really David, but that's what everybody calls him. And my name is Ken Cletus. We're not from Arkansas. They worked a lot of football games and they did staff, radio and television, and they were the best at doing that. They did it for a long time. I have 14 grandchildren. None of them are here tonight because I figured I couldn't pay $50 to watch them not eat. I would like to thank my son Cletus, and this is serious. He donated a company. He donated his kidney to me so I could be here tonight. Without him, I would. Scott Main and Kenny Gardner can relate to that because they've had donations too, but unlike Kenny, who had a BYU heart, who just had Utah kid. I'd like to thank my brother Mark, who's here. He's a nuclear scientist, so if the world blows up, it's going to be his fault. I'd like to thank, of course, my wife Nancy. We've been married for 43 years. 43 years, and she's been great. Sports information, and she's raised the kids pretty much by ourselves and done a lot of stuff, but we've had a great time, and she's been an unbelievable wife. So I love you. In sports information, you have to deal with the unexpected. So in 1979, the University of Hawaii joined the WAC. Their first football game was against Utah. Utah was still on the quarter system, so they took the team over a week early. The team had to stay at the Kaneohe Marine Base across the island. Isn't that right, Bill? Bill Gabe remembers that. The administrative staff got to stay at the Hyatt Regency Waikiki. Anyway, so that was the first time we've been to Hawaii. If those of you who've been to Aloha Stadium, it's in the middle of a bunch of freeways. And they weren't too smart on the travel in those days, and they figured they could just catch the plane after the game. Well, we happened to have one flight out, the last flight out of Honolulu was at 11:30. And college football games sometimes go long. So I went over there and figured out the fastest way to the airport, and there was one exit that was within 5 minutes of the airport. I thought, this is great, I'll just jump in there and we'll be there. So after the game, we did this stuff. I had Mark Croft, John Cooney, my wife, and Madeline else in the car. And so we're going to that exit, but there's a barricade there, and there's a big Polynesian guy there. And I'm thinking, so I go up there and I said, we need to get out of here because we need to make it to the airport. You can't, you gotta go another way, gotta go the other freeway. Why did I have to get to the airport from there? I don't care. So he wasn't gonna let us go, but there was a little opening between the barricade and the curb. So without thinking, I just punched it. It started to go through there, the big Polynesian guy jumped on my hood. So now I've got a 300-pound Polynesian right on my hood. So I'm thinking, well, if I stop, I'm dead. We'll never make the airport, I might get killed or thrown in jail. So I just kept on going. Fell off, we went to the airport, got on the plane, and came home. Another quick other story, I wasn't going to tell this, but you all got to hear me Jerry's story, right? After we went to the Final Four, we beat North Carolina, and Jairus was holding court after the game, after he did all the press stuff, and got 10 writers there, and he's talking to them. I said Scott was there with me, and we're down there standing there waiting for Rick to get done. And so finally he says, oh, I gotta go to a party with Karen Carson. So we said, Little Woody, that's what he always called the kid. Come with me, so we walk in the locker room. Well, Rick starts taking off all his clothes and throwing them to Scott. So I see him wide-eyed. Pretty soon Rick's down to his tidy whities. Now this was not what you would call a spiritual experience. His tiny whities. I think Scott was scarred for life. He just grabbed the clothes, he gave the clothes, and he walked out. And Nancy said, what are those? I said, well, they're Jairus' clothes. We have to drop them off at the hotel for the trip. So anyway, so that's what the life of an SID. So I appreciate the board of directors giving me this honor, and as the great Hawkeye Pierce said, I appreciate it from the heart of my body.
I have sincerely appreciated the opportunity to be part of this night. Allow me to leave